Hey friends, Ken Lusk here from mystarreport.com, and I hope you've been following my page at mystarreport.com. I did post some new predictions and some information on this dragon window that continues to sort of wreak havoc in the world this year. Of course, with this full moon, July 25th, we're experiencing a new energy that we haven't seen yet this year, and this is directly a cause of the dragon's tail being in the first house with Cancer for the month of July. And I know one of the big heavy-duty things that a lot of astrologers have been talking about this year, amateur and professional, novice and experts, has been this Grand Cardinal Cross that opens up briefly here in July, but then we see it really tighten up and probably will display its full power around the 20th of August. But one thing that I've been harping on all year is the configuration of the dragon, and how the dragon has electromagnetically sort of supercharged the zodiac all year long, with the tail, the dragon in Cancer and the head of the dragon in Capricorn. And this month has been no exception, of course, but now we have a full moon here, which reflects the sun's energies in a way that we have not seen before. And so we're seeing a lot of events that are rather extraordinary, very explosive, and very dramatic. And you can read about some of this on my site. But again, I posted this information on the 22nd, and what we have here is we have the tail of the dragon in the first house and the head of the dragon in the 7th house. The wings, of course, setting up nodes in the 10th and the 4th. Then we have a hidden dragon tail in the 4th house, where Cancer rules naturally, and we have a hidden dragon's head in the 10th house. So this sets up literally a full-blown cross, cardinal cross, grand cardinal cross, using the dragon's energy to create this extraordinary window. And what we get here is not just a doubled effect, but a squared effect. This is the effect of the dragon time. It's squared, basically, which sets up exponential energies. So this is no joke. Now, on top of that, we have a lot of planets that are involved more tightly in the Grand Cardinal configuration right now, Grand Cardinal Cross configuration right now. And you can read about those energies on my homepage at mystarreport.com. I'm not going to talk about them here, but I want to talk about some of the headlines that have been popping up for some major headlines that I predicted that really jumped off the page, off the chart at me. One of which was in the House of War and Open Hostility and Peace and Treaties. This is the 7th house. We find our full moon planting the seed for this period in the presence of the head of the dragon, which is destiny, with Pluto right there, Pluto conjunct with the head of the dragon in the 7th house. And the prediction then was, of course, unilateral act or action of war or rebellion. And of course, we saw that overnight Israel decided to commit a unilateral act and go to war and launch airstrikes full-blown airstrikes against Gaza, wreaking a lot of havoc in there. But again, this is a major prediction. Anytime there's a prediction of war, this is a big deal. So Israel unilaterally, of course, going to war against the Palestinians in Gaza and creating a lot of death and destruction there. I won't go into anything else because whenever we get into opinions and things like that, well, people just start to fight over, over reasons why. But anyway, the stars basically predicted this, and this is what happened. And we will probably see more energies like this manifest themselves. Another major prediction that I made was death of an important authority figure, possibly someone who is or was a second in command or a religious leader or a famous communicator. And of course, we saw pretty much that, I think it was the day after I posted this, the sad death of Daniel Score. Of course, he was 93 and did a lot in his life, did a lot with his life, but he was a major figure that had just an incredible career as a journalist. Daniel Score was with CBS for 20 years. He actually helped to launch CNN and make it what it is today, although it was a lot more effective during his day, in my opinion. That's just my personal opinion. Daniel served in Army intelligence. He was one of the unfortunate people on President Nixon's enemies list. That came out later. He broke many stories on CIA activities, FBI activities. This guy was a major hurricane-like force as a journalist in his distinguished career. Another major prediction that I pulled out of this was disturbing sexual secrets of a father, husband, or male authority figure. And we've already seen right away this breaking news of several dozen defense officials investigated for child pornography, downloading and being involved in child pornography in the Pentagon. People who are based in the Pentagon, contractors, and usually contractors are military contractors like the Army, the Marines, the Navy. NSA is involved in this. NRO, the National Reconnaissance Office. DOD, anybody connected with DOD. Several dozen defense officials investigated for child pornography on their computers. This is crazy. A pope was defrocked the other day in the U.S. I'm sorry, not the pope. A U.S. priest was defrocked by the pope, over abuse allegations. I believe that was on the 23rd or the 24th. Again, some of these energies that are very extreme and almost what you would call unprecedented. We saw the very next day after my predictions 4 very strong earthquakes striking in the Moro Gulf, in the waters south of the Philippines, a 7.3, a 7.4, a 5.4, and a 7.6, all within hours of each other. This is crazy stuff. Catastrophic failure of a dam at Lake Delhi in Iowa. That was part of my predictions for explosive events in the water, explosive events or explosions in or on the water. That dam broke and it's destroyed 200 buildings and, of course, displaced hundreds and hundreds of people. And this is kind of just the beginning. We're in the middle of the window, and this is going to continue. And I'll report more on this later, but stay aware of these energies. Check my website. Also, if you are Chiron in Aquarius, you might want to contact me and ask me what that's all about right now. Lusk out.